Hey everyone, it's Rachel here with Alice. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm doing my very highly requested All My Dolls video. This is my completed All My Dolls collection as of January of 2023. I'll be sharing all my dolls in the order that I got them, the backstories behind my Truly Me dolls names, and also some of the renaming of my character dolls. And I'll also be sharing some fun facts about these dolls. Over this past year, I've kind of developed a lot of backstories and personalities for these dolls, so will they make sense to some of you? Probably not, but I hope you enjoy hearing some of these really weird backstories anyways. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right on into the video. The first doll that I ever got is Nikki Johnson. She is a Truly Me number 23, and I got her in December of 2009 at the American Girl store in Atlanta. I can't exactly remember how I chose the name Nikki for her. I don't know if it was in the Fun With Your Dolls book that the dolls came with back then, or maybe it was just a name that I thought of on my own, but her name is Nikki, and some fun facts about her is that she's a skateboarder, surfer, thinks smiley fries should be a dinner staple and should be with every meal, and also she eats at McDonald's so often that the employees probably know her by name now. The next doll that I have here is Miss Margaret Mildred Kittredge, who we all know as Kit. She is wearing a Truly Me 56 wig, and I got her in Christmas Eve of 2010. So for my character dolls, I don't really keep their personalities from their books. I kind of like to turn them into their own characters and give them siblings. So she's Alice's younger sister. She loves photography and writing, and if dolls had a height difference, she would probably be the shortest. Like, I don't know why, but like, she just gives off short girl vibes, and I love it. Next is Alice Kittredge. She is Truly Me number 27 with an Isabel wig, and this doll has actually had so many names over the years. I believe I first started off naming her Chloe after the Bratz doll, but then I wanted to change it because I just really wasn't vibing with the name Chloe, so I called her Olivia for a while, and then I ended up naming her Opal because I actually purchased her because of an AGTube series that I watched growing up. I do not remember what it was called, but I remember this doll was like the very outgoing and weird character, and her name was Opal, which is why I purchased her in the first place. So she had that name for a while, but then when I was like 11 or 12 years old, I was obsessed with the live action Alice in Wonderland movie, and I really wanted to name one of my dolls Alice, so that's how she got her name. And she is of course the doll that I named my account after I brought my dolls out of storage. She was the doll that I just like loved and adored and like wanted to mainly just feature on my Instagram. That didn't go to plan. Ended up featuring all of them, and there's a whole other story to that. So that's one of her fun facts, is that she was the doll I named my account after. Some other facts about her is that I have her be Kit's older sister because I just thought that they looked a whole lot alike when I was younger. She's a drummer in this little fictional band that I had called Pastel Dreams. That can be like a whole other video. I plan on doing a whole behind the scenes of my American Girl stop motions that I plan on making if I do make them, so keep an eye out for that. And she's also very protective of her younger sister, and she's also a ballet dancer. Next is Julie Albright. I got her as a birthday gift in April of 2011. I believe I paid for her with my own birthday money that I had saved up. I remember I was originally wanting Truly Me number 37, but my aunt helped me pick up Julie. She just loved her long hair in her 1980s, or not 80s, in her 1970s style, and so I ended up getting Julie. Some fun facts about her is that she's kind of like the big older sister to everyone in the dollhouse. Everyone goes to her for advice on literally anything. She also sometimes wishes that she was a mermaid. She loves bullet journaling and listening to old records, and I also picture her going to school to maybe be a makeup artist. Next is Sage Copeland. She was another doll that I saved up all my birthday money for to receive in April of 2012. She was the last doll that I ever got as my like original 5 dolls is what I call that collection. So she was the end of my childhood dolls. Some fun facts about her is that I gave her a younger sister named Victoria, who you'll see in just a few minutes. She is a very chill person. She likes to keep to herself. She also can be fine hiding in a room painting and is always wearing mixed match socks. Then to kick off my adult doll collecting journey in April of 2019, I went to the American Girl store in Toronto and I picked up Truly Me number 44. This is Arden Jones. I don't remember how I got the name Arden. I believe it was just through looking through Pinterest of like popular girl names or like trendy girl names. I know I wanted to give her a name of someone who sounded like she would be in like a popular group in high school, so I settled on the name Arden. Some fun facts about Arden is that she is the diva of the household. Every everything has to go her way. She tries to act in charge. She also has a twin sister named Amaya, who I will show you in just a few minutes. But like I said, she's a total diva. She loves fashion and is always willing to pick out outfits for her friends. And she also has a dream of being a model or a high-end fashion designer. Next is Scarlett Matthews. She is a Be Forever Felicity doll with a Dallas Dollco wig, and she is definitely a doll that has more of like an interesting backstory behind her character. So I have created like my own little Marvel character that I've had since like I was 17, and her name was Scarlett Matthews. The backstory that I had is that she got her superpowers after an accident in her parents' science lab, and she can control and manipulate reality similar to Wanda Maximoff. And since I now have two Felicities, I stole some inspiration from the Multiverse of Madness movie and pretended that she's like a Felicity Merriman variant, which is like what they call, instead of a doppelganger, they call them variants. And so that's kind of like the story behind her. I know it's very weird, but it's one of my more fun characters, and I really love her. I forgot to mention in the last clip that Scarlett was a doll that I purchased at the American Girl store in New York City at the beginning of July in 2019. And then at the end of July of 2019 is when I then kickstarted my love for buying American Girl dolls secondhand and fixing them up. So this here is Parker Holland. He is inspired by Paris Wonder A Jesus doll Thomas, who I believe is inspired by Tom Holland. I am a really big fan of Peter Parker's, so I kind of wanted to name him after Peter Parker and Tom Holland without making it obvious, so I named him Parker Holland. I guess it is kind of obvious, but this is also a doll that is kind of like two dolls in one. I pretend that he has a twin sister named Andrea, who I featured in my Halloween stop motion, The Witch in the Woods, and they kind of switch back and forth, like Andrea's visiting and then it's Parker visiting. It's weird, I know, but the reason why I still keep this Be Forever Rebecca doll as Parker is because my 4-year-old cousin only likes to play with Parker. She doesn't like to play with any of my other dolls. She'll stare at them and admire them, but Parker is a doll that she likes to play with, mainly because I guess she's a big Spider-Man fan and she also kind of sees Peter Parker in this doll. He's Parker at the moment, but then I also switch it with his quote twin sister Andrea from time to time. Then we have another one of my secondhand American Girl dolls. This is Caroline Abba, and she was a dream doll of mine for literally the longest time. I wanted her so badly as a kid, and I'm glad I didn't get her as a kid because I can hardly take care of her curls as an adult, hence why I kind of pushed it to the back because she is in desperate need of a hair curling. But I ended up getting her off of Kijiji in October of 2019. She was the first doll that I actually had to go and like pick them up and like meet someone somewhere, so that was a very interesting time trying to do that. But like I said, she was a dream doll of mine for so long. And so some fun facts about Caroline is that she loves nature and having picnics with her friends, especially during springtime. She loves watching the Once Upon a Time show. I used to be obsessed with that show, and so I wanted one of my dolls to be obsessed with it too. She is also an ex-figure skater, so I kind of kept that from her books. I know Caroline in her books really loves skating, so I had her become a figure skater. And she also really likes listening to music from the 80s and 90s, and her favorite band is Queen. Next we have Lilo Akina. She is a Trilimi number 79, and I love this doll the more that I kind of come up with her backstory and personality for her. So the story behind her name is that I ended up naming her after Lilo from Lilo and Stitch. The day that I got her, I was kind of going back and forth on a lot of names. I was thinking maybe naming her Aurora because I was a big fan of Sleeping Beauty back then. I was also going to name her Alana or any type of like Hawaiian based name, but I ended up settling on the name Lilo because I ended up watching the movie Lilo and Stitch the day that I got her and could just so easily like picture Lilo's personality being the same as Lilo's in the movies, and so that's why I really love and adore her. I also decided to give her the last name Akina because I really wanted a Kanani doll, but back then I kind of thought, oh, I probably won't ever get a Kanani because she's super expensive, but I will show my Kanani doll later on, and I've kind of decided that they're going to be like cousins. So this is Kanani's younger cousin Lilo. She was born and raised in Hawaii. She's a hula dancer, and she's also the most mischievous person you will ever meet. She's constantly pulling pranks on the other girls in the house, and she's also a lover of horror movies, even though she's probably way too young to watch most of them. The next doll is Victoria Copeland. She is a Trilimi number 55 with a crystal wig. I got her in January of 2020 at Once Upon a Child. I was very happy to find her because she was the first doll that I ever found secondhand, and so it was kind of like also on a whim too. I can go into like a complete backstory on her, but to keep this short, I ended up naming her Victoria because I wanted her again to be sort of like a popular girl, and Victoria is kind of like a popular girl name to me. And I also decided to have her be sisters with Sage, so she's Sage's younger sister, And I just thought, again, they looked alike when I was growing up. She originally has the like long wavy brown hair, green eyes, and freckles, and I'm pretty sure she came out after Sage. It was kind of supposed to be the doll that like looks like Sage but isn't actually Sage, you know? Remember when they used to do that? So some fun facts about her is that she loves fashion but is more into the modeling side of things. She wants to become a fashion influencer and a professional model, and also has dreams of living in Paris. If the lighting could stop changing, that would be fantastic. But this next doll is Chili Me number 26, and this is Jordan. I got her back in March of 2020, and I believe I got her as a birthday present for myself for my 20th birthday. Some fun facts about her is that she is a proud plant mom, and she takes her Polaroid camera everywhere with her. She also really loves and adores baking, and she wants to be a baker when she grows up. For the reason behind her name as to why I named her Jordan, I don't know. I think I just kind of like stared at her and I'm like, you know what? The name Jordan really suits this girl. It's either Jordan or Gabriella. Again, I probably found her name on a list on Pinterest. I know I kind of wanted more of like a sort of gender neutral name for her, or like a boy's name for her, similar to how Bina and Dina likes to name her dolls after kind of boy names. So I ended up naming her Jordan, and I think it really suits her, and I really like that name for her. Next is Jocelyn Elizabeth Kendrick, who I call Joss, and I got her in July of 2020. She was actually the first American Girl doll that I bought from American Girl, just because I usually only buy American Girl dolls from the store when it's like a birthday or for Christmas, but I was working non-stop those past few months, and I'm like, I really want to treat myself, and so I got Joss. Joss is very much like a comfort doll to me. She's not my favorite doll of all time, we'll get to her in a minute, but she was my comfort doll for the longest time. And so some fun facts about her is that she's a surfer, a skateboarder, a world champion cheerleader, and she wishes she lived somewhere close to the beach. Next is Suzumi Willow Numora. I got her in December of 2020 as a Christmas gift for myself, and she's Trilly Me number 64. I believe, I probably should have looked that up. I'm terrible when it comes to Trilly Me numbers, but I believe she's Trilly Me number 64, and I apologize if I'm incorrect. But she has a really cute backstory to her of the day that I got her. I ended up breaking 2 of my toes the morning that I ended up getting her in the mail, and so I was downright miserable. I don't think she was actually supposed to show up that day, but she did, and so she really helped me feel better. The universe was like, you know what, you're having a bad day. Here's your doll that you ordered. So that was kind of fun. The backstory behind her name is the name Suzumi. I was a really big fan of the Darkest Minds series back when I was in like 9th or 10th grade, and so one of the characters' names was Sue, I believe, and her real name was actually Suzumi, so I wanted to give her that full name. The middle name Willow was a name suggestion that I got for her off of Instagram, and I thought that was so cute, and I thought it really suited her as well. And then the last name Numora is a character on the Netflix series Troll Hunters. Her name is Miss Numora, and so she's one of my favorite characters, so I also wanted to name her after her as well. So some fun facts about Suzumi is that she's supposed to have more of like an edgy style. She doesn't at the moment, but like she's the biggest softie, she has the biggest heart, and she's also very much a hopeless romantic. She is a songwriter and pianist for, again, my little fictional band Pastel Dreams, and she also is learning to play electric guitar and bass, and she is also the shyest person that you will ever meet. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know who this doll is because I feature her literally all the time. She's one of my favorite dolls.
Y'all already know who I am. My name's Topher.
And this is Aspen Amelia Palmer. She's an Isabel Palmer doll with a Dallas doll co-eg, and I got her back in March of 2021. I decided to rename her because I just wasn't a really big fan of the name Isabel for her. I don't know why, I just don't think it really suits her. So I guess I scrolled through Pinterest again like I do for all my dolls, and I decided on the name Aspen. I really wanted to give her more of like an earthy name because I picture her being my little adventurer doll. She travels everywhere with me. I plan on traveling Europe with her and also bringing her on vacation later this year, so that's very exciting. And I also ended up naming her Amelia as her middle name because I got that as a suggestion on Instagram, and I just thought it really suited her. So like I said, this is Aspen Amelia Palmer. Some fun facts about her is that she's a ballet dancer, she loves being outdoors, and her favorite things to do are go hiking and camping with her friends during the summer. She is a proud Disney adult, and she also really loves going on spontaneous adventures. Next is Addie Walker, who I kind of named Addison Walker. She is a Beef River version of Addie Walker, I believe, and I ended up getting her around the same time as Aspen back in March of 2021. I believe she came like 2 days after Aspen arrived, and I also got her off of Poshmark, which later on proved to be very dangerous for my bank account because I didn't have to pay import taxes and I only had to pay a small amount for shipping. So that was fun. Anyways, this is Addie. I kind of have a little backstory for her. I imagine that she lived in Paris for a year and she is fluent in French. She loves to write her own books. Fantasy is one of her favorite genres, and she dreams of owning a small bookshop in Paris someday. So we're all just going to ignore the very terrible bright orange lipstick that this doll has on because she was very much a face-up fail. But this is Miss Riley Marie June. She's a Pleasant Company number 12 doll, and I got her back in May of 2021. She is my first ever Pleasant Company doll, and so I really love and adore her. She's literally the cutest. I ended up naming her Riley because she, for some reason, just like radiated Riley Matthews vibes from Girl Meets World. I imagine her having a very similar personality to her. Marie, I think again, Pinterest baby names list really do come in handy for naming my dolls. I just thought it was a very little elegant name for her, and I thought it just really suited her. And I named her last name June just because, I don't know, I thought it fit. Riley June is kind of a really cute name, and I guess it kind of just popped into my head like that. So there we go. She is literally the definition of a Hufflepuff in Human Sunshine. She is very outgoing, always happy. Her and Lilo, I imagine, being the youngest dolls in the household, being around the ages of 11 or 12. And so her and Lilo are like partners in crime. They always doing something together. She still thinks My Little Pony band-aids make cute little temporary tattoos. I don't know if anyone else did that as a child, but I know I did. And also she still sleeps with a little stuffed bunny that she has had literally her entire life. Next up, we have Mia St. Clair, who is a doll that I wanted literally for over a decade. I wanted her so badly back when I was 9 years old, back in 2009. However, I didn't know at the time that the Girly Year dolls retired, so I was absolutely heartbroken when I found out that I couldn't get her. But I managed to finally get her back in, I believe it was August of 2021. She was a dream doll of mine for so long, and I still sometimes can't believe that I finally have her. I ended up changing her from being a figure skater to a hockey player just because I think that kind of suits the personality that I have for her a lot more. She loves the color pink. She can be very overdramatic. She's very ambitious when it comes to playing hockey, but with school, not so much. She's not a big fan of school. And she also loves watching nostalgic TV shows, and some of her favorite shows are Lizzie McGuire and Full House. Next up is Amaya Jones. She is a custom Chili number 44, and I got her back in September of 2021. She's the first doll that I found at like my local thrift store, Value Village, and so that was very cool. I think I only got her for $4, which was literally insane. But she was the first doll that I actually gave like a full-on makeover to. I gave her some winged eyeliner, I swapped out her eyes for these brown ones, and I also gave her this custom Dallas doll co-wig. I ended up naming her Amaya because I was a big fan of Rainbow High at the time, and I just really liked the name Amaya, which is one of the characters from Rainbow High. And I also named her last name Jones because she is Arden's twin sister. Since they're both number 44s, I decided to have them be twins, and she is literally the complete opposite of Arden. While Arden is very loud and overdramatic, Amaya is very chill and laid back. She is the founder of my little fake rock band called Pastel Dreams. I really want to create a summer movie for this. I'm still working on the script, but it involves a lot of copyrighted music, so I don't know if I'll ever actually do it. But like I said, she ended up founding it with her best friend Corinne, who you'll meet in just a minute, and she gets a lot of inspiration for her band from singers like Mr. Wise and Crimson Apple, and she also plays electric guitar. Then I got Maritza Ocha. I ended up getting her right when the World by Us collection released because I was literally so excited for that line, and the Joss mold is one of my favorite face molds. So this is Maritza. I got her back in October of 2021. She's a soccer player, a skateboarder. She's on her school's track and field team, and she just really loves fitness and being active. She also likes causing mischief with her friends Alice and are constantly getting in trouble together. So the next doll that I have in my collection I currently don't have out at the moment, and that is McKenna Williams. She's currently in storage because I've just had a lot of trouble connecting with her, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe she's a doll that I end up reselling, or if I just give like a complete makeover to later on this year. I didn't want to take her out of storage because she's kind of buried at the moment, sadly, which is really sad. But yeah, the next doll that I got off the Maritza was McKenna, who is temporarily not a part of my collection at the moment. Then we have Corinne Eden Tan, who I sometimes call either Corey or Eden. I got her right at the beginning of January in 2022. She's one of the first Girl of the Year dolls that I got right when they were released because I absolutely love her. She's literally so cute. I ended up wanting to rename her Eden first because, I don't know, I just wasn't really connecting with the name Corinne. But then everyone started calling their dolls Corey, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is literally the cutest name ever. I don't know how I got to Eden again. Pinterest, great place to find baby names, I guess. And so that's probably where I got the name from. So like I said, she either goes by Corey or Eden. She plays bass guitar for my little fictional band that I really need to make a movie of. She's a snowboarder. She's Marvel obsessed and has watched the movies in timeline order at least 4 times. I know Scarlett is not supposed to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know that can be a little confusing, but anyways. And she also shares her love of comic books with Suzumi, and they're constantly swapping comics books with one another. So the next doll that I got is Truly Me number 37, who I named Nicole Connors. I actually got her a few weeks after I got Corinne, and I am so happy that I did because I've wanted this doll for literally over a decade. She was supposed to be the first doll that I got at the American Girl store when I was 9 years old. However, she was sold out, so I was very heartbroken, but I have her now, which makes me very happy. I ended up naming her Nicole because that was the name that I gave her growing up, and the last name Connors was just like a random name that kind of popped into my head as a last name. She is Hazel's younger sister, who is my Truly Me number 21, who I'll show you in just a moment. She's very much an introvert and is also very shy. However, I did make her like the lead singer of this band called Pastel Dreams, so I guess maybe that helps boost her confidence. I don't know, I need to dive more into that backstory a little bit more. She also really likes to listen to old vinyls and is constantly stealing Julie's records. Then in February of 2022, I ended up finding this Pleasant Company Felicity Merriman doll off of Poshmark, and she was a bit more of like an impulse purchase. I've been really wanting an old Felicity with her bright green eyes. However, I've kind of gone back and forth of whether or not I want to keep her in my collection or not. So far, she's staying, but some fun facts about her is that she really likes to join Aspen on her little hiking and camping adventures. She's a total bookworm, similar to Nicole. She also loves dogs, and Coconut is one of her best friends, and she's also an aspiring photographer. Next, we have my Truly Me number 21, who I named Hazel Annabeth Connors, and I got her back in March of 2022. I ended up naming her Hazel because I don't know if anyone else did this as a kid, but every time I was flipping through the American Girl catalogs, I would always name the Just Like You dolls, and so for some reason I decided to name her Hazel. I gave her the middle name Annabeth because I was a really big fan of X Melody Girl X growing up, and her number 21's name was Annabeth. So some fun facts about her is that I had her be Nicole's older sister. She wants to be a professional ballerina someday. She loves going on picnics with Caroline throughout the summer and springtime. She likes to travel and also really enjoys walking around art museums. Then on May 30th of 2022, I ended up getting Kanani in the mail. So this is Kanani Akina, who I sometimes call Nani. Some fun facts about her is that, again, I have her be Lilo's older cousin. She grew up in Hawaii as well. She was a professional surfer until she moved here. She likes to join in on Alice's and Joss's skateboarding adventures, and she is best friends with Aspen. Then we have Ren Elizabeth Palmer, who I'm just now realizing shares the exact same middle name as Joss, which was a complete accident. But anyways, this is Ren. She's a Truly Me number 52. And my mom actually found her at the thrift store for me back in August of 2022. I wanted to, again, name her kind of like a earthy sort of name because I have her as Aspen's younger sister, so I wanted their personalities to be a little bit similar. Again, Pinterest, great app, and ended up finding that name for her. I ended up giving her the middle name Elizabeth just because I thought it really suited her. It was a really pretty, elegant name for her. Again, she's Aspen's younger sister. She's a gardener. She loves making Spotify playlists that she never ends up listening to, very similar to myself. She likes joining in on her sister's adventures and also listens to a lot of sad girl music, but is literally the happiest person you will ever meet. Next is my wannabe Elizabeth Cole doll. She's a Krista Maxwell base that I got off of Poshmark in September of 2022. I've always wanted Elizabeth Cole, and so I'm like, this Krista doll, she has the exact same face mold and eye color as Elizabeth. Why not give her this blonde Dallas doll co-wig, and boom, I have an Elizabeth doll. Elizabeth dolls are really expensive, at least that I've been able to find, so I'm really happy that I was able to create this Elizabeth custom. I ended up keeping her last name Maxwell, so she's not exactly as Elizabeth Cole, so she's not exactly as Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, why can't I say that name? So she's not exactly Elizabeth. Oh my gosh, I can't say the name. So she's not exactly Elizabeth Cole. She is very much like Arden. Like, her and Arden are best friends. They're both drama queens. They both love fashion. I also imagine her being a skincare enthusiast and would probably love to have her own high-end makeup brand someday. And the sauce doll is a doll that is still very much a work in progress, name and personality wise. This is my Truly Me number 31, who I have currently named Brooklyn. I got her at the very end of December of 2022. She's another doll that has a very nice backstory to her. I was not supposed to be getting her in the mail that day. However, I was starting to get really sick. I had a very miserable day at work because I just felt so awful. And right at like 6 o'clock at night, someone ended up delivering her to my front door. The gentleman wasn't even wearing like a UPS or like a delivery service uniform. He was kind of just delivering packages out of the back of his car, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I ended up getting her that day, so she's very special to me. I ended up naming her Brooklyn just because I kind of imagine her having a very city girl aesthetic. I don't really know personality wise what kind of backstory I want her to have, but I know she used to live in like New York City, or maybe she's from Toronto. And so that's kind of all I have for her personality at the moment, and hopefully I will have more of her story figured out sometime soon. So that is it for today's video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed hearing the little backstories behind each of my dolls. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, as it really helps my channel grow. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!